Hello, Peter4790 here, Sirus, and welcome to my Game of the Year video for 2012. And thus, now the year 2012 is coming to a close, and just on the horizon is the year 2013. And just to commemorate a new year, or just Christmas overall, I thought I would do a Game of the Year video like I did last year. Oh, it's not particularly a year yet. I posted that video January. But still, I thought it would be fitting for me to do a Game of the Year video. Anyway, for this video, as per the title, I'm just basically going to list off candidates which I think is my personal Game of the Year. And after I list them, I say what my Game of the Year basically is. It's going to be a bit different from last year. I'm just basically going to list the candidates in alphabetical order and then say what my Game of the Year is compared to last year, which I just ranked them. I thought I would give a different spin on it this year. It's basically the same type of video, so I thought it would be nice to do something different. And also, like last year, I'm also going to say which game I'm most anticipated for in 2013. Anyway, before we actually begin this video, let's go through a few things. Firstly, this list is completely subjective. My favorite game might be one of your most hated games this year, or might not even be a game I've played. So yeah. Second thing, remakes and reports won't count. So as much as I want to, I won't be counting Persona 4 Golden, which I think on the side is a really good port. But this video is not me talking about Persona 4 Golden, it's for my Game of the Year video. Anyway, now that I said what I said, let's begin this video.
This is a lame entrance, even for me.
Round one.
The first game I'm going to be talking about is Atelier Miru, The Alchemist of Ireland. I find this game absolutely addicting and a nice change of pace to other RPGs that's about epic tales of saving the kingdom, saving the universe, and all that. I just found it really refreshing to play. I just found the gameplay overall to be really addicting, from the alchemy system to the turn-based combat system, which I think is pretty good and got a good amount of depth to it with the time card. And I just love the time system in the Atelier Ireland games. The strategy RPG fan of me just like planning things ahead and seeing how things are going according to plan. It's just so satisfying. And there is a good amount of freedom with the numerous ways you can try to increase the population, which is the main goal of the game, which really makes it really fun, the time system, and not all that restricting. And just seeing these characters from past games appearing at Atelier Miru is just great. And overall, Atelier Miru is a fantastic way to end the Atelier Ireland games. So in the end, I had a blast playing through Atelier Miru. Fantastic alchemy system, pretty good combat system with turn-based combat. I love the time system, and there's a good amount of freedom of how you can achieve your goal. And just seeing all these characters from past Atelier Ireland games appearing in this game for one final game is just a great way to end the series. The new characters are also decent, in my opinion, though not as good as the old characters. Though I have to say that I really like Miru as a protagonist. She's just so outgoing, energetic, that's just so fun playing and trying to see how she interacts with other characters from past games. I have to describe her, she's a very fun character. And that's all I have to say about Atelier Miru. Overall, a really addicting game to me. And also a nice change of pace to all other video games I usually play, which are epic save the worlds. And just a simply great way to end a trilogy, especially with the Alchemist ending. Next on the list is Mass Effect 3. Well, what can you say about this game? It got great gameplay with the shooting mechanics and adding with the few RPG elements in it, and with the powers. The characters are great. And adding in a bunch of the old characters from past games like Ashley and Garrus, and also having new ones like Vega, it was also a pretty good mixture of trying to come up with characters for the third game. Presentation wise, it looks great. The environments look varied enough when you go to each individual planet, and the story is also pretty good for the most part. Emphasis for the most part. There were really epic moments such as the worm battle at the Tunchunka. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. And with the Reaper battles, really epic moments. And I feel that Mass Effect 3 improved the gameplay somewhat with the inclusion of mechanics like the weapon weight system, which really give the game more depth to it compared to Mass Effect 2. So overall, great gameplay with the shooting mechanics, great characters, good story, great world building with the lore as always, and the music is also pretty good as well. And overall, Mass Effect 3 is just a great game overall, and there's just so many epic moments in it. Anyway, you're probably wondering, well, if you heard the Mass Effect 3 ending controversy, what I think of it. And truthfully speaking, I hated it. I really hated Mass Effect 3 ending. Well, not the ending by itself, but what happens in the last 15 minutes of the ending. Seriously. Okay, I don't think this is spoiling much, but when Shepard does his final charge, the game just goes downhill for me. Seriously. But even if I do hated the ending to Mass Effect 3, I still think it's a fantastic game. All the events leading up to the ending was great, and had its epic moments, and overall, I can't stay mad at Mass Effect 3 for its subpar ending. Next game on the list is Tales of Grace's F. Yeah. If you've seen my other videos, you will know why I love this game. And truth be told, I don't know what's more to add. What I'm basically going to be saying is basically going to be a repeat of what I've been saying in my past videos about this game. But anyway, here goes. Anyway, Tales of Grace's F. I love the combat system. Probably the best in the 3D Tales game, and probably one of the best combat system in action RPG that I've actually played this gen. It's fast paced, got tons of depth of it with the CC system, sidestepping weakness system, and SO mode also adds to it. And each of the characters is so much fun to play as. And the characters are great as well, and incredibly likable, with them providing the best skits and victory quotes in the series for me. And speaking of characters, I probably find myself very relatable to Aswell in terms of personality. Well, some traits of his personality reflects upon me. And I have to say that the progression system via the title system in Tales of Grace's F is great. There's a good amount of freedom how you can kind of build your character, customize them, and which kind of art you want to learn. But it's all, each of the progression of each character via the title system are all unique from each other, which is what a leveling system in a party-based RPG should do. Progress the character, give you a good amount of bit of freedom with how you can build up your character, and make each character very unique from each other. And overall, Tales of Grace's F is just a fantastic game to me. Got fantastic gameplay, great characters, good enough story, and there's tons of content to go through in the game. Seriously, I played the game for 100 hours in my first playthrough, and it didn't really felt like 100 hours to me. That's saying something when a game can do that to you. Anyway, onward to the next game. The next game on the list is Xenoblade Chronicles, the game that every RPG gamer is crazy about. And for good reason. It's a fantastic game when you get down to it. And I'll probably highlight the things I really like about it. Firstly, the setting. Xenoblade Chronicles got one of the most unique settings I've ever saw in a video game. Seriously, I have never seen a game the game universe that takes place on two giants. And the environments in this game are also beautiful, which really adds to the game overall aesthetics and makes exploration a blast in the game. The gameplay is great with the combat system being pretty unique, with how the system is really similar to MMO with cooldowns and positioning, which makes it pretty engaging. And the characters are also pretty unique from each other, so which will give you incentive to actually use the characters. And the progression system is good, as you have a good amount of freedom how to build your characters. And the exploration is fantastic in this game, as I said before, as the environments look beautiful, are interesting to explore, and there is incentive to actually explore them since the landmarks you explore give you experience points. And the story is great, it's engaging and got plenty of twists of it which will keep you pretty engaged. The characters are pretty good. Overall, Xenoblade Chronicles is a great game. And Xenoblade Chronicles overall also is a good mixture of both sub-genres that's usually at odds to each other, which are PC style and Japanese RPGs, no, Western Japanese RPGs. It combines a console style, usual gameplay mechanics such as having a unique combat system, crafting system, etc. But also have the emphasis on exploration like most Western RPGs do, like Oblivion and Skyrim, which really makes it a pretty unique beast, and is a worthy candidate for my personal game of the year. The next and last candidate on this list is XCOM Enemy Unknown. XCOM Enemy Unknown is here because the turn-based combat is just fantastic in this game. There's great amount of strategy with the action system, and the great emphasis on positioning, which engages you into the fight, since positioning determines if you're going to be protected from enemy fire, and you being able to flank the enemy so you can be able to blast them, which really makes the combat system really fun in this game. Since the game gives you this feeling of dread, since, well, your soldiers can die from one hit, so you really have to be careful with how you position them, or if you want to risk the soldier going to a flanking position. It's really intimidating at first, but a really rewarding experience once you get the turn-based combat down. The class system in XCOM Enemy Unknown is pretty good as well, as each class got used to it, and the progression system via getting skills is also pretty good, as the skills can really change the dynamics of a battle. The base system is also pretty good as well, as at the start you don't really have enough resources to do everything you want, but with careful planning and careful allocation of resources to the things you really need, it feels really rewarding once you have the advantage over the aliens. And overall, the gameplay is fantastic. It's engaging, but also really rewarding once you get all the mechanics down, well, once you know all the mechanics, and use it to your advantage. There are some mechanics I didn't like how panic was implemented in this game, and a few other stuff, but overall, I had a blast playing through XCOM Enemy Unknown for the gameplay, and it deserves a place as a candidate in my Game of the Year video. And my Game of the Year of 2012 is Tales of Grace's F. Now, this is a very close call between Xenoblade Chronicles and Tales of Grace's F. In the presentation side of things, Xenoblade Chronicles probably win. The more epic and grand scale of the story, the more unique setting, the soundtrack, the beautiful environments. Though I probably found myself more connected to Grace's F cast of characters, with both playing as the main characters in the child arc to the main arc and seeing how they were as children compared to adults, but also with how the characters interact with each other, whether it be in cutscenes, in-game skits, or in battle quotes, which really makes the overall characters much more enjoyable to me. And yes, Xenoblade Chronicles are victory quotes of sorts, and the heart system, but I probably like Grace's F victory quotes better. And for the heart-to-heart system, I felt that the skit system and Grace's, or just the Tales series in general, felt more natural and organic way of character interacting than with the heart-to-heart system in Xenoblade Chronicles. But still, presentation-wise, Xenoblade Chronicles wins in my books. But what really ultimately decided the factor between me choosing Graces F is the gameplay. I found Graces F to have the more fun gameplay for me. While I do like the individual mechanics that Graces has and compared to Xenoblade Chronicles, I go more broad in order to explain myself better. I would probably expand it in one or two categories. The first thing is balance. I probably found Graces F having a better balance between being RPG based and being skill based. I'm gonna go a bit of a tangent here, but it's to explain my point. One of the most important aspects of an action RPG is to have a good balance between being skill based and being RPG based. If it's too RPG based, you make it feel like your involvement in the actual combat and understanding of the mechanics to be moot. If it's too skill based, you don't really feel like your characters are really getting stronger, which is one of the strong points of playing an RPG. Well, for me personally, one of my joys of playing RPG is getting stronger and stronger each time I defeat an enemy, seeing my character going from a weakling to being a strong person. Having that balance between being skill based and RPG based is key to having a great battle system of that and having really fun mechanics to play with. Now, with that said, I'm not saying Xenoblade Chronicles don't have a balance between being skill based and RPG based. It does. But I probably think Graces F is stronger in this department as compared to Xenoblade Chronicles. With how level based Xenoblade Chronicles can get with the overall combat system. Like with how if your opponent's 5 levels higher than you, your attack will repeatedly miss. So yeah. The second thing is that I probably found Graces F to be easier to get into. Not really got to do with the difficulty per se, but with just how the individual games, which are Graces and Xenoblade, eases the player into learning the mechanics. But the most defining feature why I found Graces to be easier to get into is Xenoblade Chronicles side quest. I really did find them kind of time consuming and boring since, well, you're not really sure what kind of monsters carry this type of item that you're looking for. And Xenoblade Chronicles don't really have a bestiary like some other games. So yeah, you'll be going out slaying monsters hoping they have the item, unless you go online to look for a guide. And those two are the broad reasons why I probably like Graces F gameplay better than Xenoblade Chronicles. There are, as I said, individual mechanics which I like better in Graces F combat if I look at them carefully, but those two are the broad reasons. Though Xenoblade Chronicles does win in the exploration department of the game, though Graces F also has emphasis on exploration with the discovery skits. So overall, Tales of Graces F is my personal game of the year for the year 2012. Xenoblade Chronicles is the probably more ambitious title, but Graces F was just more fun to me in the gameplay department, which is why I picked Graces F to be my game of the year. Graces F reminded me why I love action RPGs. So yeah. Okay, we're done with the first half of the video, which is discussing my personal game of the year's candidates. The second half is which games am I most anticipated for in the year 2013. And man, there are such great pickings for 2013 just from seeing the trailers. For this list, I'm just basically going to go through 5 games. 4 games I'm not really going to list in order, but the 5th game is the game I'm most anticipated for. Well, without further ado, let's begin this second list in this video. The first game I'm really anticipated for in the year 2013 is Atelier Aisha. What can I say? I find the Atelier games absolutely addicting with how the alchemy system is structured, with how the overall game is structured with the time system. I'm probably just gonna have a blast playing for Atelier Aisha like I did with the other Atelier games.
Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. That was the deal.
The next game I'm really looking forward to is BioShock Infinity. I love the original BioShock. How old school the shooting mechanic was with the health bar and stuff, the mutant powers, the overall atmosphere. BioShock is probably my favorite shooter of this generation. So I'm really looking forward for BioShock Infinity. And it's a plus that BioShock Infinity is getting set up in a different location than Raptor. Because BioShock 2 I enjoyed, but I probably didn't enjoy it as much as BioShock 1 because of the overall atmosphere. BioShock 2 took place in the same location as BioShock 1. So that feeling of mystery and awe is lessened in comparison to BioShock 1. So I'm really looking forward for BioShock Infinity since it's taking place in a totally different location from Raptor.
This Oliver, this savior, I will taint his heart with the blackness of despair.
The next game I'm really looking forward to is Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. What can I say? I did a demo impression video of it, so you probably know if you watch that video what I think of it. I love the visuals. I think the gameplay is pretty good just from the demo. The music is fantastic. The art style looks pretty good as part of Ghibli style. Animation looks great. Overall, it's just a game I'm really looking forward to. And if the demo is any indication, I simply can't wait till this game gets released in January. I even got the Wizard Edition pre-ordered already. So yeah, I'm really hyped for this game.
I'll take you. I'll show you where to find him.
Next game I'm really looking forward to is, you guessed it if you know me, Tales of Xillia, or Exia, or I'm just gonna say Xillia. It's a Tales game. What more do you need to know? I think the visuals are great just from seeing the trailers. The gameplay looks pretty good with the dual rate motion linear battle system. I think the two protagonist storyline is a pretty interesting concept just from seeing it. Overall, I'm really looking forward to Tales of Xillia getting released to the West. Even though I don't really know when the exact date, but still really looking forward to it. On up, it's a Tales game. Of course I'm gonna be excited about it. And while I talk about Tales of Xillia, I have to give the hand to Namco Bandai. Not only releasing the game just a year after Grace's F, probably, but just how they're handling the localization of Tales of Xillia, with the constant updates, with the advertisement they're doing for CommuniCon 2012, along with other events, and the third thing, Hideo Baba himself, the producer of the series, coming in person to advertise the series in both Europe and North America. Wow, just wow, that really surprised me. It's something to get the representative of the North American and Europe branch of Namco Bandai to advertise the series, but getting the producer of the series himself, that's something. That's really something. If you were to tell me that Namco Bandai would do this type of advertisement, or even localize Tales of Xillia just a year after Grace's F, I would find that hard to believe a year ago. So overall, really surprised with Namco Bandai. Okay, that went off tangent a bit, but I really wanted to express my genuine surprise of Namco Bandai this year. But anyway, let's get to the very last game that I'm very anticipated for, and the game that I most anticipated for 2013. And that game is...
愚かでした。
スミオ。
よかった。
お前は一体何者なんだ。
Fire Emblem Awakening. Man, this game looks awesome! The graphics for 3DS looks pretty good. The CGI cutscenes looks fantastic for the 3DS. And the gameplay wise, it looks great. It seems to implement a good amount of elements from other Fire Emblem games, such as adding in Genealogy of the Holy War's marriage system, Fire Emblem 2 and Fire Emblem Sacred Stone world map system, the class changing system that was in Fire Emblem Gaiden and Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, well, the remake of the first game, and it seems to have the forging system as well, which was introduced in Fire Emblem 9, Path of Radiance, and it also has the skill system, which was in Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy Wars, and then reintroduced into the series through Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. And that trailer rocked! It was awesome! Seriously, Fire Emblem Awakening is my most anticipated game for 2013. And I can't wait to get the game in February. Anyway, that's all for this video, folks. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a Merry Christmas or a Happy New Year, depending on when you see this video.